Live streaming is on.
Okay, let me just get the link. I'm going to go through my thing, introductory, when I post this on Facebook. And then Duke, you'll be up first. Okay. This is Facebook. It's my perception. Okay. You guys might get tagged in the post, just Duke and Corey, just because I'm so Duke first. Corey. Okay, it is posted. So here we go. Going to get started. All right, perceivers, welcome to the finale of Perception Season 1.0, our first inaugural season. So I want to first thank everyone for a great season. It was fun to host you guys. It was fun to do challenges with you guys. It was fun watching some of the drama unfold. I know that Rory and Natalie would say the same on their part. So tonight we have Duke versus Corey in the final two. One of these two will be crowned the winner of Perception Season 1.0. In just a moment, we will start with 5-minute opening speeches. Corey won the coin flip and decided that Duke will go first. Duke, you will present your final speech first for 5 minutes, followed by Corey for his 5. And then we will get to the board, which is in our game, the jury. It will then shift to them, where each of them will have 5 minutes to ask their questions to Duke and Corey and gather as much information as possible. And as I said to you guys earlier, if for some reason time needs to be extended, I will take that into consideration. Not all hope is lost. However, 5 minutes is your time limit for now. Let's keep it at that. Once the board has asked their questions and received their answers, hopefully to their liking, we will move into your vote. But let's get started with the first task of the evening, which is your opening statements. With that, Duke, we're going to start with you. You have the floor, and your 5 minutes starts now.
Hey guys, it's me, Duke. I just wanted to say thank you all for showing up, and it's been an honor to play Perception, the first season, with everyone. I'm just gonna start by explaining a little bit how I decided to play this game and how it differs from typically how I would play a Big Brother or any org, really. I came into this game and I wanted to kind of switch it up based off of what has worked in a couple of the games that I played previously and based off of the season's twist. I think I did a good job at recognizing what the twist was, how to navigate the twist to my liking. And that was, kind of playing a little bit more socially. Typically, when I come into these games, I want to go in, I want to win a whole bunch of challenges. I want to make these, huge moves. I want to, find an alliance and work with them throughout the entire game. But with this particular, twist, it wasn't advantageous for myself to do that. I didn't want to be perceived as somebody that was going to go out and win all these challenges and, make, these bold moves. The cast itself had a lot of huge bold players, and I wanted to take a step back and, you know, really work on being as sociable and, you know, creating relationships that could further me in the game. And I think that I did that to the best of my ability, and I think it worked very well. I think, you know, with the twist being, you know, the nominees could nominate somebody, that just increased the odds of somebody getting, you know, targeted, and it lowered the, you know, positivity of becoming in power. So I viewed it as not as advantageous for me, you know, to be in power. So I worked my ass off trying to, you know, build genuine connections with everybody that I could, and, you know, hopefully garnering some trust with certain people. Some people it didn't work with, but the people that I built bonds with, you know, they trusted me and they gave me information that helped me, you know, strategically in the game. I purposely, you know, didn't win many competitions early on. That was completely strategic of me. I wanted the people that were going out and winning these competitions, playing these powers, they're going to be perceived as people that, you know, are threats. I think my threat level management was pretty much the best in the game. I wasn't really targeted nobody really came after me until about Final Four. And that's because of, you know, the social bonds and the people that, you know, I built genuine connections with. It's, you know, trust and your word in this game is your currency. And yes, I did have to go back and, you know, we're all trying to win the game. So at some point you have to cut ties with people. And I tried to do it in the best way possible. And it was all strictly gameplay. That's not to take away that, you know, the personal stuff and the genuine connections that I built are something that, you know, I'm being genuine when I say, you know, I tried to build real relationships. It did help me in the game as well. You know, another reason why I think I deserve to win this game is not only, you know, my social game, but I showed it. I showed that I can win competitions when I had to. You know, the Final Four, you know, I didn't want to win the Final Five, you know, competition because I felt blood would be on my hands at that point. But, you know, I did. And I had to make do with, you know, what decision I made. I know Maddie's mad at me for the decision that I made, but I made it for a reason, because in that circumstance,
remaining warning.
And in that circumstance, you know, I had to make a move for what I had. And, you know, I won some of the biggest competitions when it mattered. I showed that I can, you know, win competitions, get my way with what I want, and, you know, bring the person that I think is best for me to win against in the end. And I think that's a huge portion of why, you know, I think I deserve to win. And I would love to answer all your guys' questions, whatever you have specifically.
Duke, your time is up.
Thank you.
And with that being said, Corey, it is now your time. Your 5 minutes begins now.
Hey, board members, welcome back. So I'm just going to get straight to it. Before Maddie left, he said something to me. You didn't win comps. You never put someone up. You had Tamika do shit for you. People didn't respect you. And he's right, and that I never won Tyrant, even though I did get second several times, including 2 tiebreakers. But I controlled the majority of Marcelino's Tyrant reigns and helped regulate the round Tamika won. I did not need to win Tyrant in order to advance in this game. My social and strategic game is what got me here, and that's why I deserve to win. There may have been something called the power of influence, but I was the influencer in Perception 1.0. So no, I did not win many comps. In fact, I won 1. But that 1 comp changed the course of the game. It was a do or die situation, and I would have went home with Kyle had I not won. Tamika and I practiced for hours. We won. We defied the odds. This was the only comp I truly needed to win in this game. When Dylan got evicted, you know what he said before he left? Corey, you're next. And I would have been next if I did not step my game up. During the duos round, this is where Trimika's donged monsters emerged. A challenge I created with Tamika, myself, Marcelino, and Duke. This, along with the Tamika and Susan chat I had since the beginning of the game, became my main loyalties. I never betrayed any of these people. And Maddie was right. I never did nominate anyone in this game, but I was able to use my strategic gameplay to help sway the nominations to go a certain way. When Marcelino won his first Tyrant, I helped convince him that Nick needed to go. When Marcelino used his power to become Tyrant once again, he asked the chat who he should put up, and out of all the suggestions, he listened to mine and initially put up Kendall and Jesse as I saw them as an emerging duo. And when Kendall told Marcelino that she would nominate me as the capture target, Jesse would up instead of her. Let me also say that Kendall was right and that I convinced Marcelino to nominate Sean. I do want to point out, though, that I never bullied anyone. Personal and game were always separate for me. Sean and Matt had a rivalry throughout this game, and I knew if Sean kept getting noms, he would put up Maddie. In actuality, I didn't want either out, but the more they went after each other, the better it was for me. And let's go with that you had Tamika do shit for you aspect of this game. Tamika and I were a duo. We were a team. This became apparent when I helped Tamika stay in round 2, which put a big target on my back. I knew we'd be separated eventually, but didn't exactly know when that time would arrive. The fact that we made it to the final 6 and 7 as such a dynamic and open duo speaks volumes, especially after surviving week 3 together. And if people really didn't respect me, then honestly, I don't think I would be able to run this game around and convince folks to work with me after I was a dead fish. The Corey Exposed party started where Maddie led a movement to get the entire house against me, in which RJ and Nick joined him. I was able to make amends with Maddie after this, even aligned with him, and I was able to gain trust the majority of the house. I was never in true danger after this. I got enemies to become friends, and people who did not trust me to trust me once again. Not to mention, I was able to connect on a personal level in some regard with everyone on the board, whether this had to do with teaching, a random university in Newfoundland, or about plans to move to a big city. Now, this is where Duke comes in. Remember when Marcelino used his power and Eric went up? This was probably one of the most pivotal points of the game. But wait a second, Duke was not there for it. He magically fell asleep, which forced Tamika to break the tie. This is a microcosm for the entire game. Duke was able to coast round after round, but at last he woke up at Final 5. I was not afraid to get blood on my hands, and Eric leaving really did dictate my future for success in this game. If we watch the last season of Survivor, there may be 2 players we may resonate with, Tommy and Dean. Tommy was someone who was able to use his strategic and social gameplay to win the game. He did not need to win comps in order to do this, and like myself, he had Nora and Dean willing to bring him to the end. He did not need to win that final immunity challenge. Dean, like Duke, was much of a coaster throughout the game, and magically started to play in the last quarter, where frankly, it was too late. I respect Duke as a player and person, but if you think one move is the reason he should win, then vote for him. But if we're talking about accumulation of moves and social and strategic gameplay throughout this game, I deserve your vote. Thank you, production, for the opportunity to play this game, and I have enjoyed getting to know each and every one of you on the board.
All right, with 30 seconds, you don't need more time, right, Corey? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, I'll go ahead and stop the timer. All right, so before we go over to the members of the board with their 5 minutes each, I'm going to a couple rules here, a couple guidelines. There will be no personal attacks. Of course, I don't do that. We will not do name calling. I mean, you know, if you want to call somebody's game, call them a bitch ass for their gameplay, whatever. But I'm just talking no harsh personal attacks. I don't do that. So we will keep it as civil as possible. I don't mind the drama. I don't mind anything similar. I just do not like personal attacks. So let's keep those out of it. The first person tonight we're going to start with is the first member of the board, Eric. Eric, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get your cam up here as the speaker. I don't see you on cam. Are you on cam?
Yeah, it should be. Everybody see me?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm adorable.
Okay. So, Eric, your 5 minutes starts now.
Hello, gentlemen. How's it going? Duke, Corey, congratulations, final 2. First off, production, thank you very much for this game. This has been a really amazing game, and no matter what happens, no matter how the vote turns out, this has just been a very fun game, great cast, all that great stuff. So thank you both. Duke, I think something's up with your camera. I feel like I see your desk. Okay. So I'm going to be very honest with both of you. I think I'm a little underwhelmed by both of your opening statements, and I'm still up in the air as far as who I'm really thinking about voting. And quite frankly, at this point, I'm just like, if whoever wins, good game, shake your hand, God bless America, all that fun stuff. So I just have a couple questions and some comments just to kind of clarify my game, just to clarify some questions and all that fun stuff. Duke, I'm going to start with you. Your opening statement, you said that you were trying to play more socially. And while I would agree with that to an extent, I feel like yours and my social relationship was more along the lines of, we're past, hey, how's it going? But when I would try to get information from you or learn, get beyond that, not necessarily, hey, tell me your vote, but talking more about the game, I feel like we were just more in the pleasantry zone. So can you talk a little bit more? Was that your strategy with every person? Or what did you and I just not have the strongest connection in the game?
Right. That's a great question. So for me and you, obviously you and I were in a chat with Nick, and that was, our connection was through Nick at first.
Yeah.
I felt as once Nick was eliminated, there was some separation between myself and you. And I do understand where you could see where I was starting to, not turn my back, but not be as upfront or willing to give you information or whatnot. But that's just based on my instinct. I felt as if, I do feel like I was the one that was initiating a lot of the, hey, how are you? Like reaching out to you. And that may have, I felt like that was, a key in my mind where I don't know if Eric's with me 100%. And in actuality, I don't think you were. I think you had your group of people. I think you were with Susan. I think you had a group going on, and I felt you were dangerous. So I didn't want to reveal information to you based on what I was doing, because I was working with, Corey, Tamika, and Marcelino, and you were the biggest threat on the other side for me. So I didn't want to, basically what I wanted our relationship to be was, I wanted to be cool with you. So if you were to come after our side, you wouldn't come after me. You would come after one of them. And that's where me throwing competitions, me not being, I tried to downplay my gameplay as much as possible, be social with you. That way, if you were to come after like our side or people that I was working with, you weren't coming after me, because right. I was good with you. That's what I was trying to do.
No, that's great. That makes sense. Absolutely. All right, Corey. So I need a clarification question based on your opening statement. Are you basically saying that you ran the game?
I think to a degree, yes. I think I did run the game through other people's HOHs. I think I was able to convince people to, no, I'm not saying completely, like 100%, but I think I had, like I said, I think I was able to influence a lot of the time to get what I wanted to happen.
Oh boy.
And I'm not saying everyone, but I know definitely the second half of the game, I think the majority of things did end up going my way. Not every round.
So let me not
not every round, but yes.
But you just said you ran the game.
Yeah. Through Marcelino and through Jamaica and through most of the tyrants, and even through, for example, even when Maddie put up RJ and Sean, even though I went up, I still got RJ to go home. A lot of my targets went home pre-jury.
But the examples you gave, those were things that were already common knowledge. Sean and Maddie were already fighting with each other.
Yeah, in the beginning, everything. But Marcelino won several tyrants, and what I'm trying to say is, my influence over him was, I definitely think it had power in this game. I think just because I didn't win anything didn't mean I didn't have power and control over the game. And I'm not saying every round I had control. I'm not saying that. But I think a good majority, especially in the second half of the game, I did.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm just going to be upfront with you, Corey. And I feel like I'm not going to speak. I remember. I'm not going to.
I'll give you an extra 60 seconds if you need it.
Okay, I might only need 59. Okay, Corey, I'm just going to be very upfront. Just based on your opening statement and based on my experience with you in this game and all the, but first you need to be thanking Marcelino for that tyrant takeover and tyrant influencer, because you ran this game like I ran a marathon. So that it just, I don't see it, and you have a lot to convince this jury of how you really influenced the game. So, and Duke, I think for you, I have to think about obviously, as you've said, socially, that's all a major part of all this stuff too. But I guess I'm going to leave it to the board members to think about. Whoever wins, good job to you, congratulations. But I'll say this: I think about my favorite Bible verse, one of the proverb verses. A wise man says few words. A fool can make himself a wise man if he has the wit to hold his tongue. And I yield the balance of my time.
Reclaiming my time. Okay, thank you, Maxine. So thank you. Like I said, I give you guys 5 minutes, but I do not mind giving extensions if needed. I'll do it for everyone. It's not a big deal. It's 1 minute. Not a big deal because Jesse is not here. So our next member of the board that will be questioning our final two this evening is going to be the one, the only Kendall. Kendall, are you here, my darling?
Yes. Hello.
Okay, can I see? Oh, okay, can I? Yeah, no. Can I see you and not?
This is the representation of me.
Okay,
It'll change back to me, no
let's
worries.
not look at her. Look at you, okay, darling.
Okay, so I just want to open up
She's
first
beautiful.
and say,
We'll give Tatiana her credit, but
okay, am I good
All
to
right.
go?
I still see your doll.
No, I'm gonna switch it after.
Okay, perfect.
Just for the beginning part. I want the doll.
Your 5 minutes starts now.
Okay, guys, so the opening statement. This has been a fun game, a good game. Congratulations to both Duke and Corey, because that's not an easy thing to make final two in any of these games. So basically, my opening statement is, in this game, you got to touch and play, and some of you may say this game will always be yours. You had people walk and talk, do whatever you please. Sometimes you were stars, and other times you begged on your knees. And the theme for this season, I feel like, was life's fantastic, made of plastic. Or life in plastic is fantastic. So now, I will ask questions. Okay, so Corey, my first question for you is, I generally want to know who were the exact HOHs that you feel like you did influence?
Marcelino and Tamika's. And Marcelino got tired multiple times, and Tamika did too. So I'm talking mostly about the second part of the game. Yes.
Okay. Duke, in more detail, what made you think that throwing comps would make you less of a target?
I viewed the game based off of the twist, first of all. So analyzing what the twist was compared to what a typical game of Big Brother was. So if you look at Big Brother in a whole, Big Brother winning an HOH, or in this case a Tyrant, it's 50-50 on whether it's good, right? You get to target who you want, and typically in a typical game you can get out who you want. In this game, it decreases the positivity of winning Tyrant for me, in the fact that the people that you could target could target somebody that is with you. So for me, winning it was not advantageous in that respect. In another respect, I didn't feel like there were so many bold personalities that were going out and winning these competitions that they in turn were just creating targets on themselves. And I know for me it was tough to hold back and not try in all the competitions, but I felt like it was the best thing for me to do, and that's why I felt like I shouldn't be winning competitions. But I won competitions when it mattered, which is I think big. So
Okay. And then I'm gonna ask the same question to both of you. First, I'm gonna start with Corey. So Corey, what do you think was your biggest move of the season?
I think my biggest move this season was going from someone who was literally the next boot and should have been the next boot to making my way back to the top. And to me, that was my biggest move. Not necessarily getting someone out, but going from pre-jury, like fourth boot, to right here.
Okay. And then Duke, what do you think was your biggest move of the season?
I think my biggest move was every day, like pretty much I was working on it every day. Like every day I would try to message and keep up with people, try to talk to as many people as possible, try to build connections that could further me down, get me closer to, the end. And people, gave me information based on, trusting me and building genuine relationships. That in the fact that, I can't say that the biggest move is getting Marcelino out at, at 3 because I, won and then chose to take Corey over him. That's the only move, because if Marcelino gets to the end, he's beating me. So, taking Corey to the end is the biggest move for me. But, I was working every day. I was trying to, talk to as many people, build genuine connections, and that's my biggest move.
Okay. I feel like I talked to you guys the same amount. And honestly, Duke, I honestly think the biggest move was having Marcelino show up in the board, because honestly, I thought he was going to be right here tonight. Everyone did. So I really think that was a really bold move. And Corey, it is impressive because you were like second, third round. Everyone wanted you gone. And here you are, final 2. That doesn't happen. So I respect both your games in different ways. I'm not entirely sure because it's pretty even.
Kendall, your time's up for like an
Thank you
extra
for your
minute.
time.
Thanks, Kendall.
Okay, Kendall is done. So we move on to your next board member. Sorry, give me 1 second here. All right, so your next board member this evening is going to be the Honorable Mr. Sean. Sean, it is now your time. You have 5 minutes. Your time starts now.
All right, so I think you guys already answered most of the questions that I have. So let's start with Duke. All right. So other than being, hold on. Okay. Other than being a different route of sociable, give me an example of a strategic move that you pulled off that was the most successful that's outside of your social game.
I think I'm not going to take credit for every move, obviously, that's happened, because, a lot of, getting people out, voting people out, it requires multiple people. I think that my relationship with a lot of people, I was able to take in information and gauge where their heads were at, who they wanted out. And, sometimes the trajectory of what one person was thinking and what I was thinking, met. But I think that sometimes they didn't meet. For instance, I think during actually the round that you and Tamika went home, that reign that Maddie had was crucial in the way that the game happened. And I was on a call with Maddie, and I felt like I had a good connection with Maddie throughout the game. And, obviously you guys didn't get along for obvious reasons for most of the game, and he wanted you out. And for me, the big targets to get out were, at that point, Tamika is doing well in this game. She's winning challenges. She needs to go. And she's tied with Corey. And I'm like, if it were me and if it were what I wanted to happen, you would have stayed. Tamika would have left, and Marcelino would have left, because those were the 3, available to get rid of. Because you and Maddie were never on the same page. You guys were always fighting, and I didn't think you guys would be, I just didn't think you guys would ever come together and work together. So having those 2 people, coming at each other and getting rid of Tamika and, Marcelino, who are huge players in this game, that would have been, huge for me. But I can't, it's his thing. I can't control it 100%. He wants you out. I'm all right with Tamika going out because that's a huge target that I don't have to take out. And, Tamika leaving and, you leaving, you guys are big players and you guys were respected. You could have earned jury votes. So at the end of the day, that's a huge, move in itself. And I think I had a part in it. I didn't control Maddie, but I had the conversation with him and it aligned with me. And then, getting Jesse out, when I got Jesse out, I was the one that got Jesse out. I was the one that got Marcelino out. Me. I was the one that did it. So
okay, I'm following you. I'm gonna stop you there. Okay, I got to move on to Corey. Let's see here. All right, so Corey, you and I both talked somewhat socially, somewhat strategically, bits and pieces throughout the game. Your physical game seems to be lacking. You've already claimed that was somewhat of your strategy. Would you say that that's 100% true, or were the competitions just too difficult to win?
To be honest, I tried my best in these competitions. As you can see, I got second in a lot of them. So I honestly didn't throw competitions. So I think once I realized, honestly, in this game that these comps are just not really going my way, that's when I think I really had to rely on my social and strategic game and focus on that. And I still gave it my all in these physical competitions. So it just happened to be that way, honestly.
Okay. All right. Now for the both of you, going back to Duke, give me one reason why you believe that Corey should win. What is one example of something that you think that he did better than you that you can learn from?
Something that Corey did that I can learn from. I think Corey had his people, and he would go with his people to the end. I think he was loyal to them, and he would do whatever he wanted. For me, I was talking to everybody, and in a game like this, I felt like I had to talk to everybody to cover my ass. Corey had his people, he was going with his people, and I respect that. He was loyal. I just felt like my way was better, but I respect that Corey was loyal to his people.
Sean, your time is up, and I'm going to give you an extra minute.
Okay. Corey, same question. What is one thing that Duke did that you think that you can learn from or improve your own game from?
I think, especially in the beginning of the game, Duke played a very low-key, quiet game, and my personality is very over the top. So, I think there's times to be low-key and down, especially in the beginning. So I think that's something I would eliminate in my game.
All right. That's all I got for you. Congratulations, guys. As far as my vote goes, not really sure yet, but I think it's leaning towards one person due to the way that they managed jury. So good luck, guys.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, thank you, Sean. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next board member, and that is the queen who stays queen. I'm making sure. Oh, I was looking at the wrong chat. Oh, screw me. Yeah, so our next jury member is going to be the Queen Tamika herself. So Tamika, you have 5 minutes. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Congratulations, boys. I just want to say I am a proud mama. My two boys that I worked with from day one and round 3 made it to Final 4. I'm proud, even though I couldn't be there with you guys. With my first question is to Duke. Duke, I was hella loyal. So when you just said that you would rather me and Marcelino go out knowing that we would have kept you and you still would have been in the finals, it kind of hurt. But I understood where you're coming from. I was winning, and but I still could have helped you still go further. Corey, I was beside you from day one. I know your strategy. There's nothing that can change. I love you. What else? For Corey, question to Corey. Why should I vote for Duke over you. And then Duke, same question. Why should I vote Corey over you? I'm gonna start with Corey.
I think you should vote for Duke over me. If you think that one move dictated the season with him evicting Marcelino, and I think if you think a quieter game, a more low key game, deserves the win, then I think you should reward him with the win. And
Duke.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish, Corey.
Oh no. And I was also just going to say, if you think just the end game is, if you value, I guess, the end game, then give it to Duke. But if you're looking at the whole picture, then you may want to think otherwise.
Okay, Duke.
I think if you should vote for Corey, because I think you guys were close. I think you guys were a duo. You guys, we're working closely together. I feel like he was your ride or die to the end. But I love that your opening statement in the fact that you respect what I did. I didn't do it, but you leaving is good for me. I'm not beating you in the end. I'm not beating Marcelino in the end. And I think it's smart on my part for you not to be sitting next to me. And that's why you're not. So, I mean, if you want to vote for he's your boy. I know he's your boy, but I think I played better. So.
Okay, thank you guys. I just want to say, like I said, I'm proud of you both for sitting in that final 1 and 2. We said it from day 3 when we all hooked up that we was gonna get this far, and I'm proud of you guys and congratulations. So whoever wins, buy me a drink. Bye. That's it.
Thanks, Tamika.
All right, thank you, Tamika. And next, we're going to go on to the next board member to ask questions, which is Maddie. Maddie, you are up, and your 5 minutes begins now.
I don't get no cool introduction.
Matty Ice.
I think you gave yourself enough introduction.
Okay, I guess I'll have to turn it up myself. My first question goes to Duke, and it's a little bit of a two-parter. So the first part I want to know is, how has it been sleeping on the couch? And the second part is, are you still hoping that I take you back after tonight?
Couch has been definitely rough. Not comfortable at all. I love the bed. I love the bed. And absolutely 100% hope you take me back. It's been lonely without you, Matty Ice.
All right, well, see if that's good enough. My real question for Duke is, for me, I think it's obvious that I'm a little more of a bolder player, and I like to be out there in the forefront. So for someone who plays that way, and I kind of respect that gameplay a little more, if you can make it to the end, why should I now give you my vote and respect the more subtle gameplay?
So you should respect my gameplay and the way that I played it, because if it was a typical game of Big Brother, I would have played similarly to what you would have played. But I think I understood, the twist and what was going on. And there was so many of these big personalities that it didn't make sense for me to just try to butt heads with all the huge personalities. I wanted to play second fiddle to a Marcelino, to a Tamika. And then I wanted you guys to believe. I couldn't be that I couldn't have, even if you wanted to take me to the end, even if that was true, a little bit true, I would have lost. I would have lost. I would have lost to Marcelino. I would have lost to Tamika. I would have lost to Eric. I might have lost to everybody. The only way that I could have won is getting to the end, how I got to the end. It wasn't perfect, but I worked the way that I thought I could. I switched up how I typically play games based on the twist, based on what I've learned from other games. And I think you should respect that. And I think you see that I did well, but I think that you're giving me shit because I didn't take you to the end and I didn't lose to you. And I understand why. I understand why.
I'll talk to you later. All right, Corey, can you confirm if you feel you had any control over any of my 3 reigns as tyrant?
as your tyrant. I think a little, but I think it was mostly your control with your tyrant.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make it clear that you didn't control shit with me. So
Yeah, no, I said yeah. I think most of you.
if you would have came in here and had been a little more humble, it would have helped you a lot and not claimed like you were this mastermind and ran shit. And that was the one thing I said was gonna hurt you from getting my vote. So
No, I want to make it clear that
hold on, I'm giving
sorry.
right now. I'm gonna give you the chance to eat that piece of humble pie, and you tell me one flaw in your game that you see, the biggest flaw in your game that you wish you could have changed.
I would say the biggest flaw in my game would be that there was probably times I should have kept my mouth shut. And in regards to a move, if we're just talking about one move that I made that was wrong, which I will admit, I should have evicted you over Kendall, because then I would have won the next tyrant, and then it would have been much more likely that Tamika and I could have been sitting here. So that's one move that I think that's one move that I should have made differently, and I think I should have been more low-key at times.
Okay, I respect that. With that, I am all done. Congratulations to you both for making it here. And I'm just excited for awards. So good luck.
Thanks, Maddie.
Our next member of the board would be Jesse, but Jesse is not here. So we're going to go on to Marcelino. Marcelino, are you still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Driving.
Perfect.
But it might get cut out. But be all right.
You're good. All right, Marcelino, you got 5 minutes, and your time starts now.
All right, boys. Tamika's Dog Monster did it. Y'all are fucking awesome. Congratulations. Y'all get background music. So, Duke, you said your biggest move was voting me out. But in all reality, I don't think you had a big move at all. I think the biggest move that was presented was when Corey and Tamika saved you from my tyrant reign, because I didn't trust you and I wanted to send you home. But Corey and Tamika convinced me to not and put you on the block because they wanted to send Eric home instead. So with that, what like I really don't have a question for you, but I do respect the way you played the game, and you played it fucking great. You played the most under the radar game I've ever seen, hands down.
Thank you.
And Corey, you said you ran my tyrant reign, which is probably somewhat true. You were involved in all of it, pretty much everything. You weren't my number one. Tamika was, and I just don't see how you saying you ran everything. I don't know how to explain it. Because I mean, you technically you did run three out of 4 of my tyrant reigns, and that's the truth. You gave me the people to vote to put on the block. You know, you changed Jesse to Kendall, pretty much. So I mean, you did do that. So congratulations, guys. I really don't have a question for any of y'all. Y'all both killed the game. So congratulations, guys.
Thanks, Marcelino.
Well,
Did it cut in and out? It's probably all fucked up.
were we supposed to respond, Robbie? Hello.
Did Marcelino ask a question?
No. No.
All right, just wanted to make sure that I wasn't. All right, perfect.
It fucking cut in and out.
All right. With that being said, it is time for your. I don't believe Jesse's going to be here, so it is time for your closing statements. To start, Duke went first, Corey went second. So this time around, Corey, you will go first. You have 5 minutes, and your 5 minutes begins now.
Okay, so I just wanted to clear the air and say, um, when I was talking about my control in the game, the reason I used myself as an influencer were mostly, like I said, in regards to Tamika and Marcelino's reigns as tyrant. When I say influencer, I mean someone who I really do think had a great influence in their decisions and what they did. I don't think I don't think I ran anyone else's tyrants at all to that degree. I think when Marcelino got in power, and especially in the second hand, and when Tamika got in power, I was able to do damage without actually being the tyrant. And I honestly do think I had a tougher time to get here. From the beginning, for someone who I think was constantly targeted in the beginning and maybe like in the bit of the middle, I think it takes a lot of guts and chutzpah to get here after, like I said, after I was going to be out. And then Duke also mentioned that I just stuck to my lines. That was not true. Even though I was obviously 100% loyal to Marcelino and Tamika and Duke, I talked to everyone. I had a chat with Jesse and Eric. I don't really think that chat was for real. But I talked to people. I got to know people personally. I talked to Sean. I talked to Maddie. I talked to Maddie about strategy, and I definitely feel with Maddie, like we went, starting this game, I had a chat with Maddie and Kyle, and then we went from, I thought, a somewhat close chat to exploding. I never had anything against. Even after that happened, I was willing to work with Maddie to get further in the game. I had to do what it took to go from the bottom for someone who honestly, people wanted out very badly, and I had to do that in order to get here. I had to build relationships. I didn't just stick to the people on my side and not talk to everyone else. There was a reason why when Sean went up as capture, I knew that I would be safe because Maddie would go up. So I definitely think I worked my ass off in this game. I put my heart and soul into this game, and I would love it if you guys would vote for me. I love Duke too, so if you want to vote for Duke, feel free to. But I think if we're looking at a game of someone who was the underdog in the beginning, who had to work their way ass off, and who I couldn't just sit by and get here. I had to do what I had to do to survive those rounds. And then when my people got in power, and I think I was the influencer, like I said, for Marcelino and Tamika, and then that's how I got my strategic moves. And yeah, so like I said, I would appreciate it. Good luck, Duke.
Okay, Duke, you're up, and your 5 minutes begins now.
All right, guys. I think that I've explained my strategy enough. The reason why I did things, I think, is apparent. I think something that Corey said that resonates me in his last speech is that he made himself a target early on. That's not something that I'll ever entertain. I don't want to, make waves early on. I want to, build connections with people. I don't want to fight people early on. It just doesn't make sense for me. It's not my personality. I try to, genuinely connect with people. And I think that way, I can build these genuine connections, and people will tell me information that, maybe I use, maybe I don't use, but I'm always listening. I am very, very, throughout this game, I was very, very keen on who I should be saying what to, who I should be talking to, what I should be saying. It's very important to listen. Maybe I didn't say as much. Maybe I wasn't as bold as some people, but that was all intentional. That was me, taking a step back and letting the people that are bold, accumulate targets on their backs. And I just think that's smarter play. For me, in terms of competitions and throwing competitions, I threw them. I mean, it didn't make sense for me to win them. I've explained it multiple times. The tyrant itself, in the way that the game's set up, it's basically a negative. Controlling people's tyrants, that's not something that it can help you in getting the people that you want out. But, if I can just slightly adjust what people are thinking, or slightly, if it's on the same path as me, which many of the times it was, then I'll just let it go. I mean, I don't have to be in control of every single person's move. It just doesn't make sense. And, Marcelino saying that, my biggest move was taking him out. That move is not the biggest move. That move is the only move at that point. If Marcelino's sitting next to me, I lose. Got to take him out. If Jesse's sitting next to me, she might win. Taking her out, that was my sole vote. She had people on this jury that would have voted for her because of her likeness. Eric leaving is it wasn't my doing, but I wanted it to happen. I was a vote in that as well. Eric leaving was huge. He wasn't with me. I explained it to him. Tamika, me turning against you, you're going to win if you get here. If you're sitting next to Corey, you're going to win. If you're sitting next to me, you're going to win. You leaving was crucial for my game. As much as, working with one another is important, at the end of the day, we're all trying to win. And that's what I was doing. And I was doing it subtly, and I was doing it behind your backs, but it was for a reason. It was for me to get to the end and win. And, at the end of the game, you can see that I can win competitions because I went out and I did it. I went out and I won the competitions that got me here today. I brought the person that I wanted to go against here. I did it. It was all me. And, if Corey were to have said, you know what, I won this competition to get this person out, I brought Duke here, then I wouldn't have a standing shot. But I did it for myself, and I brought myself here, and I deserve to win because I put in the time. I talked to the people. I built genuine connections. Everything I said was real. My life experiences that I share with you, it's all real. And if you give me information based on you liking me, then that's just, good for me. I can use information. I can tell people certain things. I can move people's thought patterns. I'm not saying that I was overbearing and I was controlling people, but nobody was coming after me. I wasn't targeted. I wasn't put on the block until Final Four. And that's based on, people liking me and people, not seeing me as a threat. My threat level management was perfect. Nobody's thought to get out to even nominate me until Final Four. I think I played the fuck out of this game, and I think that I deserve your vote, and I think I deserve to win. And, Corey's a great player, and he played his game, but I played my game, and I played my game freaking hard, and I think I deserve your vote. And, thank you for listening to my rants and allowing me to answer your questions. I hope I did to the best of my ability. And yeah, thank you. It's been a great season.
With 4 seconds to spare. Thank you, Duke. All right. With that being said, we have done what we need to do here tonight. Your final task, Duke and Corey, you have done what you need to do here tonight, I should say. The final task is for the members of the board to now vote for the person they believe should be the winner of Perception Season 1.0. So at this time, I ask the board members to please go into their production chats and cast your vote for a winner. Good luck, Receivers.
Robbie, please check the production chat. We have all the votes. We're just double checking them, and we will be announcing the winner shortly. Good luck to both Corey and Duke. You both played great, amazing games.
Did Jesse vote?
It's all perception.
I'm pretty sure she pre-voted.
Oh my god, I have such a fucking headache.
Now I see everyone. Before I just saw 4 people.
Sorry, boys. I'm just getting the votes written, and then I'll be right there with you. All right, I'm just joining from my phone so I can put my camera on, and then we'll read these votes.
Me and Tamika laughing.
Lori, thanks for dressing up for us tonight. We really appreciate it.
He just got back from his grinder hookup, right?
Actually, I got back from doing manual fucking labor, lifting 50-pound dogs of dog or 50-pound dogs. Probably tomorrow. 50-pound bags of dog food. So hop off my ass, bitch.
All right.
Damn.
Who just
I'm
joined?
really bored now. But it's okay. We're just waiting
Okay.
patiently.
So I just want to make sure that you guys can see my camera.
I don't see.
Putting it on right now. You guys should be able to see me. Yes. Yep.
You're so small. How do I make you bigger? Oh.
If I had a nickel. All right, I'm gonna put another light on. My hair is a mess, but I don't care. Put me down here. Okay. So where am I on this majiggy? Okay. Move me here. All right. So this is the time we've been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to crown the winner of Perception Season 1. I'm gonna put a hat on. My hair is a mess. Actually, no, I'll put my B. Maybe, there we go. My B. All right. So with that being said, thank you, Eric. So with that being said, I will get to the votes. There are 7 votes for is the majority. Here we go. Good luck, Corey. Good luck, Duke.
Good luck, Duke.
Nice, Corey. You too, man.
First vote comes from Eric. It is a vote for Duke. Next vote comes from Jesse. It is a vote for Corey. Next vote comes from Sean. It is a vote for Duke. Next vote comes from Marcelino. It is a vote for Corey. That is 2 votes Corey, 2 votes Duke. Next vote comes from Kendall. It is a vote for Duke. Next vote comes from Tainika. And it is a vote for Corey. That means we are tied. 3 votes Corey, 3 votes Duke, with 1 vote left. And this vote will decide the winner. And it comes from Maddie. The winner of Perception Season 1. Congratulations. Duke. Season 1 of Perception. Corey, amazing job. Congratulations to
Oh my
both of
God.
you.
Matty fucking Ice.
Congrats, Duke.
Congrats.
Congrats both of y'all. Congrats both of y'all.
And with that being said,
Congrats
Duke,
too, Corey.
Congrats both of y'all. Y'all both played an amazing job. Fuck what everybody else saying.
Duke, do you have any words?
You know, obviously Corey, great job. I did not think you were gonna give me the heat that you gave me throughout, this last portion. Thank you for everybody that voted. If you didn't vote for me, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for production. And this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this game. It was different from how I typically play these games, and I'm really happy that I won. And, everybody else, thank you so much for being a part of it.
All right.
Congrats, Duke,
Well
on the
deserved.
real.
Well
Congrats,
deserved.
Duke.
Congrats, Duke, for real.
I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream, but do not leave because Rory has some extra deliciousness to throw your way.
Oh.
Ooh,
We're gonna.
God.